Ernesto Che Guevara, born on June 14, 1928, in the upper-class society of Rosario, Argentina, though in reality, his birth date was May 14. To cover up an out-of-wedlock pregnancy, his parents falsified his official birth date. Had this child not grown to become a revolutionary known worldwide, this secret might never have been uncovered. Che's background was undeniably distinguished. His mother was descended from Argentine nobility, carrying a pure lineage of Spanish aristocracy. His maternal grandfather had even served as the last Spanish governor in Peru. However, despite this impressive pedigree, Che's family wealth dwindled over time, leaving them struggling to keep up appearances. His father's few successful ventures, such as the family's yerba mate plantation in Misiones, Argentina, provided occasional income, but the family mainly relied on Che's mother's inheritance of lands and bonds to uphold a semblance of the elite lifestyle. As the eldest of five, Che inherited much of his mother's progressive spirit and trailblazing personality. She was a woman ahead of her time, becoming the first woman in their area to drive, wear pants, and even smoke openly. She personally funded a daily milk program at Che's elementary school, emphasizing her commitment to social progress. Her open-mindedness and pioneering ways deeply influenced young Ernesto, who admired her independence and resilience. But Che's path was marked by hardship from the start. He was born with severe asthma, a condition that would be both his constant adversary and his defining challenge. Asthma restricted his activities and served as a perpetual barrier, one he felt he must overcome to avoid being a loser. The intensity of his struggles shaped him into a highly disciplined, introspective individual who channeled his energy into reading and study when asthma attacks forced him into solitude. Books became his refuge, and his commitment to self-education led him to compile 7 volumes of reading notes on subjects ranging from love, death, and morality to philosophy and political economy. In 1947, at the age of 19, Che experienced a series of life-shaping events. His beloved grandmother passed away, and his parents decided to separate. Deeply saddened, he enrolled in the Buenos Aires University's medical school, a move he claimed was inspired by a desire to become a detective of the human body. However, he did not limit himself to medicine alone. Che's restless energy and insatiable curiosity found expression through travel. His first significant journey, a 6-week solo trek across 12 provinces of Argentina, covering over 4,000 kilometers, marked his initial foray into true independence. This journey instilled a lasting habit of journaling that persisted even during his final days in the Bolivian mountains, documenting his experiences and insights until his last moments. After that first journey, his ambitions grew bolder. Eager to explore, he set out to experience South America in full, even taking a year off from school to travel by motorcycle with a friend. They toured Chile, Peru, Colombia, Venezuela, and beyond. Later, he compiled and published his travel journals as the Motorcycle Diaries, chronicling this transformative adventure across Latin America. It was on these roads that Che's worldview began to change. For the first time, he came face to face with the hardship endured by the continent's poor and oppressed. He lived and worked alongside miners, witnessing the conflicts between indigenous people and colonial descendants firsthand. He volunteered in a leprosy village, boldly declaring himself an expert on the disease. Even as he scrounged for food, he took pride in his sense of independence and purpose. One of the most impactful moments of Che's life came when he met Dr. Alberto Bayo, a communist and a man committed to using knowledge to address Latin America's social issues. In Dr. Bayo, Che found a mentor who provided a model for the kind of person he wanted to become. Inspired, Che raised his voice, declaring, "Latin America is divided into false borders and fictitious nations. We are one people bound by common ancestry. Let's overcome narrow nationalism. I drink to a united America." This vision of a unified Latin America drove him for the rest of his life. His commitment to this ideal led him to give everything for the Cuban Revolution and later, to lay down his life in the mountains of Bolivia. After returning to Buenos Aires and completing his medical degree, Che's family assumed he would settle down as a doctor. However, his revolutionary spirit pushed him in another direction. His goal was now clear: to become a revolutionary doctor, someone who fought not just bodily diseases, but also societal injustice. This identity solidified during a pivotal moment when he had to choose between carrying medical supplies or ammunition. He instinctively chose the latter. Thus began the journey of Che Guevara the warrior. In 1955, he met Fidel Castro in Mexico City. While Che was an idealist and theorist, Castro was the quintessential political strategist, adept at gathering allies from across the political spectrum. Che admired Castro's unyielding determination, and in 1956, he joined Castro's forces to launch an invasion of Cuba. Though the revolution started poorly, with many casualties and near collapse, Castro saw potential in allying with the local farmers, and Che began treating the sick in the mountains. Despite limited supplies, he persisted. By 1959, Che had become Castro's second-in-command. His revolutionary spirit was unwavering, and he implemented social reforms wherever he could, from taxing landlords to setting up healthcare and publishing. But alongside his reforms, he found love with Aleida March, a strong-willed woman who became his second wife, standing by him through the most grueling times. In the climactic Battle of Santa Clara, Che led his troops to victory, paving the way for the capture of Havana. When Castro assumed power, he skillfully distributed government positions, masking his long-term intentions and causing confusion among his enemies, particularly in the U.S. Che, however, openly expressed his disdain for U.S. imperialism, soon becoming a primary target of American opposition. Over the years, Che's relationship with Castro grew strained. Unlike Castro, who embraced his role as a political leader, Che was a revolutionary purist. He was compelled to ignite revolutionary flames across Latin America, hoping to extend Cuba's success. He directed resources and manpower to uprisings in Nicaragua, Peru, Guatemala, and Bolivia, even though these efforts often ended in failure. In 1964, Che addressed the United Nations, delivering a speech that made global headlines. Shortly after, he disappeared from public view. His first stop was the Congo, where he hoped to spread Latin American revolution to Africa. Disheartened by the indiscipline and superstitions of the Congolese fighters, he soon departed, a man without a country, increasingly isolated. Eventually, Che found himself in Bolivia, where he planned to initiate an uprising. He adopted the alias of a Uruguayan businessman, believing that if he could not return to Argentina, Bolivia would be his entry point for revolution in South America. Despite his optimism, local resistance and betrayals left his guerrilla group vulnerable. On October 8, 1967, Bolivian special forces captured Che, and he was executed the next day. Even in death, Che's image became a powerful symbol. His face, often depicted with a calm, almost saintly expression, adorned posters across university dorms and protest banners worldwide, a symbol of rebellion and defiance. Che's story does not end with his life. It continues in the ideals of justice, sacrifice, and the fight against oppression that he championed. In the words of those who were moved by his legacy, Che Guevara will forever remain young, both in age and in the enduring spirit of his ideals.